Friday nights in the mountains hit different. Rivalries renew as August heat turns into cold mountain nights. From Mitchell to Murphy, we've got the plays, the players, and the matchups that matter. The battle for the Blue Ridge starts here. This is Mountain Matchups.
Welcome back to the Mountain Matchups podcast. We're back, baby. It's been a while. How's it going, fellas?
How's it going, my man?
Doing good. Can't complain.
Well, it's been quite a while. And we said, I think our last episode was the Christmas episode. We said we were going to be back after a small break. That small break kept growing and growing and growing. And at that point, we were like, you know what? We only care about football. So
a big part of that though is because my brother Caleb here, his wife has been growing a baby.
That's true.
Shout out to my man, about to become a father.
Yeah,
awesome.
This will be my 70th nephew.
Yeah,
you guys' family tree is absolutely astounding. There should be a book written on it.
We grew it ourselves. Yeah, so got a son on the way. He's due here in a couple months. We're excited. But yeah, that was I wouldn't say a surprise, but it was something that took away my time from being able to research, high school softball every week.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, no offense to the high school softball teams out there. That's not what I'm saying.
Sound like a little shots fired.
No, that was no shots fired. It was just spring ball was coming up, and I just knew that I wasn't gonna have time to dig into that. So anyways, we've switched over. We're just going to be a football podcast now covering Western North Carolina high school teams. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what we are now. If you don't like it, then you can leave. And I'm sure all 10 of our fans are freaking out right now. But we're glad to be back. We'll be here weekly. I don't know what's going to happen once the baby gets here for me, but Corey and Warren can hold it down while I'm out, and we're going to keep this thing rolling all the way through the football season. So
that's a bold prediction.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I got faith in you guys. All the faith in the world.
Well, you shouldn't.
Corey, what have you been up to in the off season?
I don't know, but I know that I need to come trim some hedges or something at your house. Apparently, that's what the word on the street is.
I have my bushes are literally almost to my gutters. Yeah,
it happens. Other than that, man, just getting the middle school football season cranked up over at Inca. Getting excited about that. It's been a while. Football's by far my favorite season, so I'm pumped.
So just to clarify, Corey doesn't just have general awareness of Warren's hedges. He does landscaping when he's not teaching in the summertime. So for anyone who's not familiar with that, just want to clarify.
Keep a close eye at Warren's house. You never know.
Corey's like, I was driving by the other day. Your hedge is getting pretty tall, boy.
Getting pretty tall.
So Warren, how was your summer? What's new with you?
Working on my golf game. Got into golf around 4.5 months ago, thanks to that little Charlotte trip with you guys. It's interesting. Going to the Tour Championship Thursday on my birthday. I can see Scotty freaking Scheffler hit a freaking golf ball.
Nice.
Hey, you're welcome for introducing you. I knew you'd be hooked.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's fun sometimes.
Introducing him to Scotty Scheffler?
Well, no, just a game. I wish. I don't know him like that, but no, the game of golf itself, it's terrible for you financially, but Warren, it's good for the mind, isn't it?
Oh, my hairline, as you can see, it's already tapped out. Now I should have wore a hat. I knew it. Damn it.
So Warren, you're going to what is it on Thursday?
Tour Championship. It's the top 30 players off the FedEx Cup ranking. And
that's down in Atlanta?
Yeah. Be a good time.
What are you going to do when you're there and Scotty Scheffler looks out in the crowd and says, oh, my God, there's a guy who can play golf. I want him to be in the PGA.
Yeah, right.
And he pulls you onto the course and you have to shoot. What would you do?
I'm going to top the ball and it's going to travel 8 yards. And I'm probably going to give him a hug and kiss. I'm like, my bad, brother.
and everyone's booing.
Yeah.
What would
Get off the
you?
course?
What? Imagine how you'd feel if Scotty Scheffler looked at you and was like, "Warren, I want you to hit my 7-iron."
I'm like, oh shit.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah. I'm like, all right, brother.
All
It'll be a
right,
good
so
time, though.
yeah, I'm having a baby. Corey's been cutting bushes, and Warren's been hanging out with Scotty Scheffler all summer. So that's why we've been gone.
Yeah, Corey got engaged too.
Oh, that's true. Yes, yes. How could I forget? I'm a terrible older brother. Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up. I'm going to get
Yes.
killed for not bringing it up myself.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine being your fiance. What happened to you the past few months? Well, I did
Now-
yard work.
In Corey's defense, was that even technically summertime? I don't think the summer solstice.
No, it was in
Had
the
happened
spring.
yet.
Listen,
Yeah,
Katie,
so-
Katie, if you're out there, if you're listening to this, I love you, honey.
She better be listening. Come on.
Oh, she will.
Raina never misses an episode. Okay. All that to say, we had a good summer. Sorry for the break, but we're back. We're going to keep this thing rolling. Some things we need to talk about right out the gate. So the podcast format wasn't the only thing that changed while we were on hiatus. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association changed up everything. They expanded from 4 classifications to 8 classifications. So where it used to be 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, you've now got 1A through 8A. And so that's a huge change for this upcoming season. And I think the biggest thing we got to talk about is playoff implications, because they decided that conference winners no longer get automatic bids. So everything is based on a 60-20-20 scale. So they look at 60% of the team's winning percentage, 20% of their opponent's winning percentage, and then 20% of that is their opponent's winning percentage. So it's not just who you play and who you beat, it's who the teams you beat also beat. And so it's going to be a little bit crazy. You could, in theory, have a conference winner not make the playoffs. It's unlikely, but there's a chance. So big time changes coming up this season.
Yeah, I experienced this with basketball a little bit when I was coaching up at the high school, and I didn't really like it. For one, after we graduated the good class we had, then the next year we had somewhat of a down year, and it always seemed like we would get a big win because we played somebody that had a high winning percentage, but then all of a sudden that team would lose to 3 teams that had no business beating them, which lowered their RPI, which then lowered our RPI. And it's like, you thought that you had this big win and everything's going good. Like, oh, we got a chance to like get back and do something. And it's like, nope, wait a minute. Didn't really matter.
And back then, I mean, if you won your conference, you knew you were getting in. So if you just handled business there,
yeah.
But now it's just RPI. So it's a big difference. In fact, of the 64 total conferences that they came up with in North Carolina, only 10 of those are made up of schools from a single classification. So in other words, all 8A. The 4 main conferences in Western North Carolina, Mountain Athletic, Mountain 8, Western Highlands, and Smoky Mountain, are all split. The Mountain Athletic is 6A and 5A, Mountain 8 is 5A, 4A, Western Highlands is 3A, 2A, and then Smoky Mountain rounds it out with a 2A, 1A. So a lot of shakeup. The MAC stayed the same. They're all going to be playing the same teams in their conference. But again, what do conferences even matter? We don't really know.
The bad thing is with the RPI, though, it's going to hurt teams like Reynolds, who now, granted, they've won a lot of state championships and stuff like that. But now, say if they do have somewhat of a down year and they schedule, which they've always scheduled a pretty good, tough non-conference. But if you don't do well in the non-conference schedule, so you're losing to teams like Shelby and Crest and whoever else that they might schedule, and then you go into conference play, say they lose to Erwin, say they lose to Robertson or Asheville, but you beat Inca and North Buncombe and people like that. That's if you do make it into the playoffs that way, it's going to hurt their seeding. They're going to end up facing somebody in the first round who's just as good, if not better than them. And it's going to be that way the entire state playoffs. So,
yeah.
I mean, I get the premise of the idea. I've just never liked the entirety of the idea of penalizing a team just because they play in a crappy conference. I haven't liked it. And the collegiate level, or whenever the NFL, I'm sure they'll adopt the idea eventually, mainly because of the NFC South. But I've just never liked that idea. If you win your conference, you should be rewarded regardless.
I think it should be like 70-20-10 is what I think.
Yeah.
I think that's
like that.
way better.
I would even go like 60-25-15 because I do think that opponent's winning percentage should matter. but it's the whole who did they play? Because, I mean, you could have a team that is in a bad conference, but they're winning those games by 60 points. So they're still a pretty damn good team. It's kind of hard to evaluate it just on wins and losses. Maybe we should have like a point differential, which I think they did discuss and decided against it. But that seems like something you would want to factor in if you really want to see who's the cream of the crop.
And there's so many factors that go into it as well. Like, I mean, look at Zane McCraw with Wes Henderson last year. Yes, Wes made the playoffs and all that. I'm not saying that, but Zane McCraw misses the last 3 games of the season. What if those are 3 big games that it's very important and it causes them to not get in the playoffs whenever we know good and damn well they are a worthy team to be in the playoffs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
It's got its pros and cons, I guess.
So, like Caleb said, that little 20% opponents win a percentage. That's just, I don't know. It's the way it even comes off my tongue is strange to me. I don't like that at all.
Opponents.
Yeah.
Probably because you're a Duke fan.
Yeah, we play home games and home away from home up in New York. That's what we do, baby.
Duke spends all their time in New Jersey.
Neutral boys.
So that's enough alignment talk. But it's a huge change, and it's something that we're going to be discussing as the weeks progress. You know, if some perceived big team in the mountains like Erwin or Reynolds is slacking along the way, it's going to be on us to call them out and be like, you guys got to step your RPI up. Maybe every single week we're going to go through their opponent's winning percentage and say, hey, look how bad yours is. You're going to be a freaking 18 seed in the playoffs, losers. No, we won't do that. Maybe. So how about we actually talk some games instead of all this reclass crap? Corey, let's start off with AC Reynolds at Brevard this Friday. You're thinking about being there. What do you see in that game?
Yeah, so it's funny that Reynolds comes up as our first game to talk about because we were just talking about them, how important it's going to be for them pretty much to have a great non-conference record. But, yeah, so got Reynolds traveling to Brevard. And Citizen Times, they've got Brevard at number 3 in Western North Carolina, and they got Reynolds at number 6. Both teams obviously got, I'm sure, playoff aspirations. This is an early statement game. So some of the storylines for Reynolds, they got a new quarterback. It's transfer Avery Hollifield. He's a transfer from ACA, which they're not known for football. I've never even seen them play a football game, but no, it's a good basketball school.
Yeah, very good basketball.
Hollifield, he's still learning Coach Slaw's playbook. There's been reports of early struggles with that. I'm sure that he's still trying to fit in and learn the system. The pressure of stepping into a powerhouse program like Reynolds, coming from a school like ACA, which is not known for football, I mean, that's going to be tough on anybody, I would imagine, especially being a team leader and being the quarterback. Hollifield looked shaky last Friday in the Buncombe County Jamboree scrimmage. He did get some weapons, though. So he's got Asheville High transfer wide receiver Caden Ray, and I think Ray's going to be their X factor. Last year at Asheville High, Ray had 29 catches for 421 yards and 7 touchdowns in just 8 games. And Ray stole the show in the scrimmage when Reynolds beat Swain 35-0 last Friday. But Reynolds also has Tremaine Keeter and Jaden Smith. They're expected to be big-time contributors this year. And my overall outlook on stuff is just the talent is there at Reynolds, but how quickly Hollifield can get with the system, it may define their season. There's many unknowns, but with Reynolds, of course, the upside is huge. They've got the athletes. They've got the speed. So the storyline for Brevard, their key loss, obviously, is the kid that they lost to graduation last year that played on both sides of the ball, Dylan Galloway. That's a huge hit. He went on to play at App State, but they do have some firepower that they're returning, and that's quarterback Benjamin Kessinger. He threw for 1,334 yards last year and 14 touchdowns. They got a 2-headed monster at running back in Nyrell Skinner and Braylon Thompson. They combined for freaking 2,000 yards rushing last season. I mean,
that's nasty. And if I can jump in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bub.
I mean, you're talking about my Brevard Blue Devils, baby. So just hearing that Kessinger's going to be back is cool for me because when I was at Monroe for their season-ending loss in the quarterfinals last year, I mean, that kid played his heart out. first half he struggled quite a bit. Second half played way better. That kid's got some heart. So
Oh, yeah.
Excited to see what he can do in his senior season. Shout out Benjamin Kissinger.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's a baller for sure. So Brevard, with their defense, they got key returners in Conley and Whitmire and Rogers. All three of them last year combined for 71 total tackles. And with Coach Luke Coleman's group, man, they're physical and they're battle tested. Their team identity, they're going to be ground and pound with Skinner and Thompson, and I'm sure they'll sling it around a little bit too. Need to look into more of their receivers this year, but we all know Kessinger can sling it. At Brevard, dude, it's a hostile, loud environment. Crowd always shows up, especially for the season opener against a team like Reynolds. I can't even imagine how many people are going to be there.
It's going to be rowdy.
Yeah, no doubt. And Brevard, they were a fourth-round playoff team last year, as we mentioned previously. So they've got experience in big games. So with this whole matchup, my breakdown and everything, the key question is, can Reynolds' defense contain Skinner and Thompson, first of all? Hollifield, under the lights for his first real test, how poised will he be in a crowd like that and playing against an elite-level team? Wideouts and backs, Caden Ray, Tremaine Keeter, and Jaden Smith versus Brevard's defense. That could tilt the game if Hollifield can connect. Brevard's balanced offense. So they got the quarterback and two running backs. I mean, that might be too much for Reynolds' defense early in the season. The X factor, I would say, probably Ray for Reynolds and Skinner for Brevard, because Braylon Thompson, I think, is their lead back. But we already know he's going to get his. If you get production from Skinner too, I mean, how do you stop him?
Yeah.
So if Hollifield settles in, how does that change the outlook on this game? We'll see. The crowd and environment that I talked about, Brevard Stadium just gets loud. I expect a high-scoring shootout just because there's so much talent on the field. I think it'll be a physical game. Reynolds has the talent, but they're still in transition with the new quarterback. Brevard's proven backfield and home field advantage just gives them the edge in this one, I think. And I think Brevard wins it in a thriller.
Yeah, I think for me, two things stand out in everything you just broke down. Number one, can Hollifield produce? Like, is he going to be the player they were hoping he was when he transferred in? We don't know that yet. Like you said, he didn't look good in the Jamboree, but that's one game. Who knows? They did get that transfer in from Asheville, and I'm blanking out on the name. Corey, receiver.
Caden Ray.
That's right, Caden Ray. Yeah, which he was solid for Asheville. So, that always helps out of breaking in a new quarterback if you got some players like that to throw to. But then on the flip side, I mean, Braylon Thompson and Nyrell Skinner, like, come on. Like, we saw what they did to teams last year, especially Braylon Thompson. Like,
I mean,
Skinner it takes a step up too. Like, that's going to be like some D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart stuff back in the day.
I mean,
you got Skinner, am I right, Warren? Keep pounding, baby.
You got Skinner and Thompson returning. I mean, the team went to the fourth round of the state before that happened in the playoffs. We won't even talk about that. But they got, like you said, they got all this returning firepower, the Kessinger, Skinner, Thompson. They got those defensive starters returning. Went to fourth round in state last season. They got a great coach. I think they're winning by more than what you say. But, I think it's going to be a great game regardless.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, we're talking about these boys from Brevard. We're not giving them the credit they deserve on. We talk about the Monroe game as a whole and them getting their hearts broken in the fourth round. Monroe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure they went on to win the state championship, right? By like a lot.
That's correct.
Okay.
I think they won by a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. That's true. I remember that.
They won.
But my point is, so Brevard started off rough in the first half of that game, but they competed in the second half. Really had some chances to like get back in the ball game. I mean,
it was just that first half. That first half was devastating.
The first half really dug them a hole.
We haven't seen a team like this with this kind of skill level with Brevard since probably the early 2000s, late 90s, back when they used to be pretty dang good. So I'm excited to see what Brevard can do this season.
Yeah. So, Warren, you said you think that Brevard wins by a lot more, but you still got Brevard in that game, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got them like 35-24 or something like that. I mean, it's not going to be it's going to be a good competitive game. I just don't see it being a thriller. I think, but Brevard's that two running back attack, all those returners or starters returning. I think Brevard eventually pulls away in the fourth.
Yeah, I think I'm with Corey. I think it's going to be closer. There's so much about Reynolds we don't know. They've got so many like newcomers that are at impact positions, at quarterback, at wide receiver. What if they're really good? Like we just don't know yet. We're basing all this off of how they played at the Jamboree. Probably not a fair evaluation, but we'll see.
Or it could be a fair
close.
evaluation. I think it'll take a couple weeks to gel, and then we'll see the true Reynolds team week 2, 3, 4.
The thing is, their offense is going to go as far as Hollifield can take them. Their defense will be fine, I'm sure. They always are, but they've got the skill players. It's literally going to come down to, can Hollifield make completions when it's crunch time? Can he remember how to run whatever certain plays they do?
Listen, on the road in Brevard, that ain't happening.
Dude,
that crowd's going to be rowdy.
That's why last year when I saw Erwin win like they did, like it was a shootout for a long time. Erwin even actually got down. And then Erwin ends up like pulling away and winning by a couple touchdowns. I was like, holy crap, they're legit. Because, dude, that environment, dude, it was one of the best high school football games I've ever seen.
Give me Brevard by 10. I'm taking it by 10. It might be more. We'll just have to see how good Reynolds is.
I'm going Brevard by 14. Okay. Late touchdown, fourth quarter.
Are we going to call that our game of the week?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, dude, Erwin and West is a good game, fellas.
Predicting this stuff is so hard. Once we get like 4 weeks under our belt, we're going to know all these teams very well and kind of get a feel for how their rosters play out. But it's so hard up front trying to figure out, who's good and who's not. But it's either the next game we're going to talk about or it's this game. So, Warren, how about you go ahead and break it down for us? Erwin versus West Henderson.
Well, you can't really say Erwin without talking about Lawson Reynolds, who probably very well might be the best player in Western North Carolina. I mean, last year, he caught 71 passes, 1,119 yards, 15 touchdowns. They also have Caden Ingle, who's an absolute dog. He scorched everyone last year. Had 3,000-something yards passing, completed 64% of them, 35 touchdowns, and only 8 picks. Everyone's at the Buncombe County Jamboree. Immediately, Ingle hit Reynolds for a 40-yard touchdown en route to a 27 victory against Burns. I mean, last year, Rodney Pruitt said himself, last year, Erwin had one of, if not the best offense of Western North Carolina. Quoting Rodney Pruitt out the Asheville Citizen-Times, we expect it. They're veterans, the skill players especially. However, West Henderson is returning Zane McGraw, who was my preseason pick for WNC Player of the Year.
Kid's a beast.
Last year, he ran for 1,400 yards and 17 touchdowns while missing the final 3 games of the season.
He's a stud.
That is absolutely – that is ridiculous. I mean, they're also returning Cade Young. He's coming off a solid junior campaign. He's a little turnover prone, but he's going into a senior campaign after a pretty solid junior campaign. He's going to be all right. Now, my preseason dark horse is, I'm sorry for mispronouncing his name, Asa Alsman. He's one of the best defensive backs in Western North Carolina, and I think him and Lawson's matchup between receiver D-back is something to look out for. Last season, he picked off 3 passes, broke up 6 more with 41 tackles. I think him and Reynolds are going to be a fantastic matchup. Also, special teams is going to play major in this game, I think. Erwin's kicker, Gabriel Leonardo, shout out Rick Minaldino, was 26 for 30 on PATs last season. And he averaged a smidge over 40 yards on kickoff. So I think Gabriel could also he's going to 26 for 30 on PATs is a big deal in high school football.
Hold on. Pause. Warren hears one Italian name and automatically gives a shout out to my father-in-law, who is Italian
and lives in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
He does listen to the show, though.
Rick, I love you, dog. I know you're listening to this because you're a true fan.
All right, so Gabriel Leonardo.
Yeah, he's 26 for 30 on PATs last season, average a smidge over 40 yards on kickoffs. That's a big deal in high school football. So shout out to Gabriel and Rick. Also, speaking of Asa Ostman of West Henderson, he averaged 37 yards per punt on 17 attempts, including a long of 64 yards. I think special teams is going to win this game, but I think West Henderson pulls it out. It's going to be something like 27-24. I think they need to slow the game down, give McGraw the rock. Don't let Cade and Lawson, don't let them start airing the ball out. Slow the game down, run the ball 25, 30 times, and just slow it down. And I think they end up winning.
I will say this. I went to the Erwin and West game last year at Erwin, and you know what the difference was? Special teams, just like you said, Warren. I think Petty, who's now graduated from Erwin, he had – I can't remember how many touchdowns, but he had some huge return yards last year, and that's what ultimately gave Erwin the dub over West. So I think you're right. I think it's going to come down to that again as well.
But this game is at West, correct?
Which is all, yes, and that's also another rowdy place to play, dude.
That's a factor.
It's not easy to win there either,
especially when you got a guy hyping up the crowd like Zane McCraw. I mean, if if my team had a player like that coming back, I would be pretty pumped about my chances that season.
Yep.
So that I don't know. I'm thinking I might have a little hot take here, boys. I think West. I think they're going to pull it out and beat Erwin. Game 1. Is that too ballsy?
I don't think it's a hot take.
I'm going to agree with you. I think the home field advantage comes through for West in this game. Especially, I think Erwin, I'm not going to go telling everybody's business. They may be short a key defender, maybe. just what I've heard. I don't know.
With the intel.
I don't know. Maybe people should stop telling me things because I'm not going to go there. But
you didn't name players. In theory, I mean, this show's going to come out on Friday. It's not like teams are going to be able to prepare.
We'll say the Falcons got a damn chance, boys.
Okay. I mean, you can't bet on high school sports, can you? So you're good.
Wouldn't you like to know?
I mean, I do every week. So all three of us are taking West to beat Erwin, which would be kind of an upset, right? In like the conventional sense.
I think so.
Given all Erwin's got coming back, you know what they don't have coming back? Milky Ray. Got milk? They can't answer that question this year. He's gone.
What about Michael Petty? Big time loss.
Yeah, that's
What
true.
What about an entire offensive line graduating?
Yeah. So you're saying Erwin's going to take a step back this year is what you're saying?
Caleb, since you're asking me, I'll go ahead and tell you this. I originally said I didn't think Erwin was going to be that good because they were losing their whole line. I knew they still had the skill players coming back. But now what I've seen from them in the scrimmage, clearly seeing Caden Ingle and Lawson Reynolds still balling out. Jaden Holder still on defense. They must have had some good backups. Their line performed well in the scrimmage. So I don't know. Do I think that they're going to take a step back? I mean, I guess I would say so compared to what they had last year, but they're still going to be good. I think they're still competitors for winning the MAC.
But will they win the MAC?
I don't know. It's tough to say. It depends on what Hollifield and Reynolds gives us with their game.
The team's only as good as the hog mollies in the trenches. So
exactly. So we're gonna see.
There's a difference between a little scrimmage against Burns and then the real.
I mean, that's not a little scrimmage. Burns is a pretty good known program.
Getting your veteran QB back, that's pretty good too. Like he was good as a junior.
And the Western North Carolina Player of the Year, right?
I can't recall. Was Ingle?
No. I'm talking about Reynolds, Lawson Reynolds.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if your quarterback's on his back. I mean.
All right. So that's that game. We got Pisgah at Mountain Heritage for our next one. Mountain Heritage coming off obviously a very impressive season last year. They went 12-1. They had an amazing season. I mean, it's impressive just to go undefeated to that point. And they could have honestly won it all. They had a poor showing against Corvian. Mm-hmm. And then Pisgah had a good season as well, 8-3, but they had an early exit in the 3A playoffs. I know that wasn't the finish they were hoping for, but the good news is they have 22 seniors coming into this year, including one Landon Pope. Warren, you want to talk about Landon Pope for 1 second?
He's an absolute dog. He is a physical specimen. Like that is one hell of an athlete. I think he's a better wrestler than he is football player, but he's phenomenal at both. And that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say with that.
I don't think there's any doubt that he's a better wrestler, just given how great he is at wrestling. It's not even a shot at him in football. He's just that good at wrestling. So
he's just a great athlete.
Warren's a big wrestling fan, so that's why I had to make sure he had a chance to shout out Landon Pope's wrestling skills. But he's coming back. Mountain Heritage returns around 25 from last year's team, which is huge, including standout Cason Jones. But they are breaking in a new quarterback after losing Brandon Quinn, so it's going to be interesting to see how Mountain Heritage changes things. If there's one thing that I know about both these teams that I feel very confident in, they're both going to run the piss out of the ball. And that's so first game of the year, I'm curious to see who can win in the trenches. That's where it's going to matter. They don't have a lot of players on the outside that are going to, be able to throw for 60-yard bombs, whatever, get over top of the defense. Like everything's going to be won right there at the line of scrimmage. So which team is going to be tougher there? Personally, with it being at Mountain Heritage, I want to lean and say that Mountain Heritage is going to pull it out, given the season they had last year and everything they have coming back. But I think the loss of Brandon Quinn is more significant than most are realizing when it comes to their team, because he was also a big part of their rushing offense. I don't have his stats up in front of me, but he was a big part of their ground attack. Pisgah, they lost to Asheville in the Jamboree that we've been talking about, which isn't a good sign because, well, again, we don't know, but Asheville looks to be down this year. They seem to be down this year. I mean, Meek Slidell dips out, goes to Dorman in South Carolina. Ray went to Reynolds, Corey, like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
I think they're breaking in like a sophomore quarterback at Asheville. So anyways, all that to say, the Jamboree performance wasn't particularly exciting if you're a Pisgah fan, but they still ran the ball very effectively. And they were also not playing – they didn't have their quarterback Mahaffey in there. So, again, I think the game's going to come down to what happens in the trenches. Mountain Heritage has the experience, but I think Pisgah comes in there with something to prove. I'm taking Pisgah in maybe a perceived upset on the road at Mountain Heritage by 4.
I think losing Quinn, off the top of my head, we covered Mountain Heritage quite a lot last season. Quinn had to have had 160, 170 yards rushing from the QB position last year. I'll take Pisgah by 3, something like 24, 21. There's going to be 60 rushing attempts combined, maybe 65, 70 between both teams. So I'll lean with Landon Pope and Pisgah to win by 3.
I'm taking Mountain Heritage 21-17.
Okay. So the only one of us, it's 2 against 1. Corey's taking Mountain Heritage. Any reason for that?
He just wants to be different.
Feels good.
No.
Corey's a Pisgah hater.
I've noticed my whole life when I bet against Pisgah, it usually goes decent for me. So,
yeah. So we'll see. That's going to be a really good game. One quick shout out to somebody who I think is going to be a good player this year, Aiden Honeycutt for Mountain Heritage, 6'1", 220, played last year as a sophomore. Only in 5 games, had like 10 tackles, couple tackles for loss. I think in his junior year, he plays an even bigger role. He's one of those hog mollies on the line, so we'll see. But yeah, keep that name in your mind. Remember, let's rewind to last year when Caleb/Nostradamus pointed out the Blue Devils were going to be the best team in Western North Carolina, and lo and behold, what happened?
Very true.
Watch out for Aiden Honeycutt for Mountain Heritage. He's going to be a contributor.
The good thing about Mountain Heritage and Pisgah, no matter who wins, we know it's going to be a physical football game. That's what those two schools preach.
And then if we want to just run through some other games, we'll do like a rapid fire pick session, fellas, because we're running kind of long right now. This has been a good first episode, but we need to wrap this bad boy up. So real quickly, give me your picks. We'll start with East Rutherford to Asheville High. Warren, who you got?
I got East Rutherford.
Corey?
I got East Rutherford as well.
I'm gonna mark these down so I know I'm right whenever.
Give me Asheville High. I know they've got a lot to break in. Very different team. Might be a little down. I'm taking them over East Rutherford. Next, we got Inca at North Henderson. Warren.
The Jets are going to fly high in great formation. Taking Inca.
Whoa, that's good sound effects. I'm taking the Jets, baby. You already know this.
You know what? Give me the Jets. They roll into North Henderson, or should I say fly into North Henderson.
Whoa.
And start off 1-0, baby. Tuscola at Robbinsville.
Robbinsville in a route.
I'm taking the Black Knights.
Yeah, give me the Black Knights. Hendersonville at East Henderson.
I'm going to go with Hendersonville.
I'm going to take Hendersonville as well. East Henderson, they're still trying to rebuild over there.
I'm going to go with Hendersonville. Murphy at Franklin.
Murphy by a lot. I don't know what else to say about that one.
I'm taking Murphy as well. Don't know about by a lot. Warren could be right, but they're returning too much talent.
If you were betting, what would you say the point spread on that game would be? I'd say 24.
Whoa. 17.
Yeah, so I'm taking Franklin. You're forgetting one thing. Franklin is 5A and Murphy is 2A. So while I think Murphy's going to win their conference, Franklin has has a lot more of a pull to pull from. So.
They got some big boys too. I think they may have returned like almost everybody as well from last year, and they were good last year.
I tell you
so
what, Caleb,
I'm
if
taking
Franklin wins, and you truly are Nostradamus. Damn.
All right, so next we have Rosman at Owen.
I'm going with Owen.
Give me Kenny Ford's War Horses.
Corey's
I'm taking the War Horses too, because I have a shoe horse.
A shoe horse
somewhere. Yeah. Given how lucky I am when I'm making these picks, yeah, I got a shoe horse way up there. Swain at Smoky Mountain.
Smoky Mountain.
Warren, I'm really not trying to copy you, man, but you're picking good picks. It's Smoky. I'm taking Mountain.
I'm taking Smoky. Like Swain has zero chance. Yeah. I'll go on. This is going to be a blowout in Smoky Mountain's favor. Why is that funny?
The Maroon Devils are going to be pissed.
No, I just imagine one of these kids magically listening to this episode, and they're like, "Screw you, guy." And
well, don't.
I'm going to show you.
Swain comes out, throws a 99-yard bomb right off the bat. Like,
what does it matter what a bunch of middle-aged men say about you? I hope this inspires you. Go out and play worth of crap.
I think it'd be awesome if they did listen to us.
No one listens to this. Our preseason player of the year picks. That's how we're going to finish this episode because, again, we're running long. This is a very good way to start the season, but it's long.
We're excited.
So running down the list that Citizen Times has real quick. Xander Prosper, Asheville School, Oak Markland from Avery County, Braylon Thompson from Brevard, Lawson Reynolds from Erwin, Kaysen Jones out of Mountain Heritage, Cameron Clem out of Murphy, Matthew Mahaffey for Pisgah, Stacyon Taylor for Reynolds, Isaac Collins, Robbinsville, Zane McCraw, Wes Henderson. Fellas, out of that pool, a lot of great players. Who are you taking?
My brain tells me Zane McGraw, sorry. I feel he has the potential to rush for over 2,000 yards, 17-plus touchdowns. My heart and my soul says Oak Markland from Avery County. We're getting back on the Oak train this season. We're back on the Oak train. He's going to have a marvelous season. Avery County's going to have a good season. We're back on the Oak train. He's going to have a fantastic season. He's going to be player of the year.
Okay, so you're taking Oak. So flashback to season 1, Warren was on the Oak train early. So the fact that he showed up on this list is no surprise to Warren. He knew that was coming all along.
I saw that coming whenever he was in 7th grade. I knew.
Preseason player.
Oak Markland, baby.
All right, Corey, who do you got?
Did you say Lawson Reynolds in that list?
Yes, sir. He's on there.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Lawson Reynolds for my pick. I think just him being a two-way player, successful two-way player on both sides of the ball. That's who I got. I think he's gonna be big time, especially with Engel throwing to him.
Yeah, when I look at this list, it's hard to single out any one player because they're all great. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Zane McCraw out of West Henderson. If he stays healthy, I'm gonna throw in that caveat. He's got to stay healthy. He missed the end of last season. If he's healthy, they're gonna feed that beast. Zane McCraw is your Western North Carolina High School Player of the Year in football.
He's going to
That's
get
my
so
choice.
many touches. He's going to, if he stays healthy, he's going to get 25 plus rushes a game.
But I
Like,
mean, you look at these names though. Cameron Clem was an absolute monster for Murphy
Yep.
last year. Cason Jones, we talked about him from Mountain Heritage. Braylon Thompson. I mean,
The thing about this season that's cool with not even just the player of the year candidates, but just as a whole, like there's no telling. Like there's so many good teams. I feel like.
yeah, and I don't even see Landon Pope's name on there either. That's how stacked it is.
right. No, yeah, he could surprise as well
And he might very
with all
well,
the touches
very
he'll
well
get
be
at Pisgah.
Pisgah's best player at the end of the year.
Yeah. So this Friday, it all starts. You can find me and Corey at either the Inca North game or Reynolds and Brevard. We don't know which one we're going to go to yet.
Maybe Erwin and West. I don't know. boys.
Maybe Erwin and West is going to
I
be a
don't
surprise.
know. I can't decide.
But either way, we're going to be there. If you see us, come say hello. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like about the podcast. And boys, it feels good to be back. I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel great.
It's been too long, man. I'm pumped to be
It's
doing
been
this
too
again.
long.
Oh, fucking amazing. Let's go.
All right, so with that, Season 2, Episode 1 of the Mountain Matchups podcast comes to a conclusion. Good luck to everyone in Western North Carolina. We'll see how you do. Thanks, boys.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Love
you,
you guys.
sir.
Good to see y'all.